Hello, and welcome back to Can Angels Fly 1970. I'm Nancy, and I'm here to continue with the video on the spiritual battle. This is part two of a multi-part series. Don't know how many parts there will be, but this here is part two. I kind of like to recap on part one, which covered our physical existence, our physical bodies, the material world, the tangible. And now we're about to move into the spirit world. So, as we move into the spiritual world, I guess it's something like that I would like to touch base on or make a note of or draw attention to. And that is the Apocryphon of John, the hidden books, the hidden knowledge of John that was omitted from the traditional Bible. And in it, I ask you to go read it or hear it on YouTube. Amazing book, really shed light on a lot of stuff. But in part of the writing, it talks about the creation of man, and it talks about how he was put under like a kind of spell, and the spell was a forgetfulness. Forget what? Forget where you come from. Forget your power. Forget your position and your place. Forget who's your master, that kind of thing. That's why we don't know why we're here. And when I first came across the writings a couple of years ago, it was the word forgetfulness that really struck a nerve or rang a nerve in me. And the reason why that, stay with me. Remember, I say if you come here, you're coming to ride a wave with me. So I'm going to tell you about my experience. And I believe that many women have this experience. I believe it's solely for women in this context, of course. And it is childbirth. One of the final phases, or the final phase of childbirth, after all the pain, after all the agony, oh my God, the grief, the regret, the excitement, that's what it do to you. After that, all of that, all the emotions, all the pain, all the fears, and all the excitement, the final phase is the placenta, the passing of the placenta that occurs after the delivery of the baby. I can recall the pain of childbirth. Wait. But once the placenta passed, it was a forgetfulness. I knew it hurt. I know it hurt. But yet, I can't really remember the actual pain. It is something in the placenta that is released into the system of a woman after childbirth that brings about a sense of forgetfulness. And I believe that as we were born into this realm, we passed through something like a placenta, or a placenta came right after us or something, because, or as we come through the canal, something happens. That placenta doesn't just affect the mother, is what I'm getting to. It affects that child being born. And so now, remember, we're going into the spiritual realm now. And so when that child is born, that forgetfulness falls upon that child as it washes away the fear and the pain the mother experiences. And usually it's followed by joy. Because the kind of pain the childbirth brings, baby, if you had to come out of that and completely deal with that memory and the actual pain, oh my God, you wouldn't be right for years. There's no way. It was no way. And I remember my mom saying, "So, oh, mom, I'm hurting so bad. I remember I'm hurting so bad." She said, "Give it one more minute. Just give it one more minute, baby." She said, "Because now the baby here, give it one more minute." She said, "That placenta's going to come and watch this." She told me, "Watch this." And I'm looking like, first I was like, oh, what does she mean? And I remember this wave coming. And when that wave came, that placenta passed. It washed the memory of the pain away. It washed the that the experience, the emotional, the physical effects of that labor away. It's totally softened it. It's no other way. It's just softened it as if it was not what it was. Walking in the valley of the shadow of death, which we'll come back to. And I believe that the child, as it passes through the canal, is also washed through that placenta. And we, if we got here, we were a baby, we passed through the canal. We were washed in a forgetfulness of where we come from, what we came to do, who was our master, our purpose here, where we're headed, where we're going. The adversary, we just come in here butt naked. I just want to make that, come back to that later. Now, let's see. As we move from the physical to the spirit, it's another element we need to deal with within us, and this is called the soul. Now, your soul, now I'm kind of speaking about astrology here. The soul in astrology is representational of what you bring into this world. Your motivation, your fire, your drive, your destiny. Okay, so your soul, we have to really pay attention to the soul, because the soul can be influenced by invisible forces. Okay? Our soul is that thing that motivates us. We're alive. My personality, the way I speak, the way I walk, who I am is dictated by my soul, you know? And my soul, it's my flesh body, and it is my soul that dictates me doing all this, you know, and the glasses that I wear. I mean, it's every component about me, you know, and my aim and direction in life. And the soul is the sun, the solar, the source. And I'm an Aquarius. And so my source, my goal, my motivation is to teach and learn in large social networks, or on YouTube, a large social network. It is about getting to the truth, to enlightenment, to understanding. It is to move forward in integrity, to have unbiased information or opinions. And I think that I'm actually having an opportunity to live that out here on YouTube. You never know where you're going to find your destiny. Just walk in it. Well, anyway, that's another video. And so, my soul, as yours and everyone else's, is connected to spirit. It's like a plug. It's the receptive side of the plug, the female side of the plug, you know, the spirit within us. And God, spirit, can plug in. Spirits can plug in. Now, in part one, I cited a couple of verses from the King James Version Bible, and I want to say it was in Ephesians, but it was talking about we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against, or we battle against the evil ones, the dark forces, the powers, the principalities of the evil in high places, in the heavenly places. And so these two are energies that can plug into our spirit. So let's talk about the soul for a minute. That's what I want to be talking about, the soul right here. The soul. Now, again, the soul is what animates you. It's what makes you you. It's what motivates you. It's what gets you up. The soul is what kind of keeps you out that coffin, you know. So long as that mug is active, you have a chance to wake up, to make some changes, and to plug in to source, to positive energy, uplifting energy. Okay. The soul needs to be healthy. We need to talk about the health of the soul because it's so important. So my question to you, as this video begins, is how is your soul doing? How is it feeling? What is the well-being of your soul? Are you living out your life purpose? Hold on. I'm going to read what I got here. Do you know who you are? Do you know your purpose and your role in the physical world? Knowing who you are and your purpose in the physical world matters. Okay? And if you can answer yes to these questions, it's great, because that means your soul should be doing well. And by your soul doing it well, it enhances and supports I mean, if your soul is doing well, that means you are nurturing it. It is being enhanced. It is living out its truth. And in that, it should be in a healthy state. And that makes you susceptible to be open or in communion with spirit. You know, that means your channel. You know, you get a TV, old TV, it'd be real staticky. See, we're going to talk about a soul that is inflicted. It's real staticky. But if you're living your soul's purpose and it's harmonious with the spirit that's attached to it, then you got this open line of communication with the Most High, keeping negative things from plugging in. Okay? That means that He can talk to you. He can guide you. You know, He can download information to you. He can bring things that you've been lied to about to clarity. He can give crystallization. He can lift that forgetfulness, you know. Now, let's talk about a soul, which is what is here on this physical plane, in a physical body, and it is inflicted. Now, when you have a soul that is inflicted, you don't know who you are. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're coming from. You don't know your purpose or your role in this physical world. You can get so lost. So lost, because I mean, this is all confusing. There's a whole bunch going on out here. I think that we don't want to look at it, or it's so scary, or it's so much. It's a lot going on. And in that confusion and in that chaos, you can get, struck with fear. Yeah. Or you can go, again, I'm going to talk a lot about astrology probably in this one, and tarot. You can go to your 12th house in astrology. What does the 12th house deal with? Your fears. It deals with confusion, delusion, deception, being isolated. It deals with spiritual things. It deals with escapism. So if your soul is not living out its life purpose, if you have not been able to figure out who you are and what pathway you should be on, I'm not saying it's perfect, because it's far from perfect, but if you're not on the pathway, if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it is possible you can get lost in the chaos, in the confusion of all this physical, spiritual stuff going on, and try to escape it. How do you try to escape it? How do we try to escape things? Drinking, drugging, sexing, abusing, misusing. Tarot card devil. He finds your weak spots and he get in there and play. That's his job. So, so if your soul is inflicted, wounded, hurt, bound, the chances are that your spirit, your receptor, your female plug, that channel, that connection has a lot of static or broken wires in it. So when God goes to try to plug in, it's a bunch of chaos. The signals, they just come in all mixed up. And then you, in your physical body, you all mixed up. So you're still lost, and then you get more confused. Then we got people thinking they hear stuff or see stuff. Talking about schizophrenia. No, you're getting the signals is all mixed up. This is just my viewpoint, of course. Just ride the wave with me. But through my lessons and schooling and religious studies and all that I've been through in my little life, this is what I've come to see. So the signals are mixed up. How can you receive a download that clarifies or crystallizes or brings truth to the lost and the chaos when your holy temple is defiled, when you are emotionally and mentally and physically confused? Remember, that's the playground of the devil. He ready to play all the time. That's his job. And a screw now, you know he got a crew. So, with that being said, your plug, your receptor, that other things in the universe can plug into you. You know, people that things or energies that like to wreak havoc in your life, they plug in and they go to work, baby. They go to work. And we say, oh my God, what's going on? Or we get so deep in shit that we just give up and we laugh about it. Or we down others or strike out, or we going into prisons or mental institutions. It is your soul that is inflicted. Find your purpose. Find your purpose and walk in it boldly in your purpose. Again, let me go over the purpose based on sun sign. We have 4 elements: earth, air, water, and fire. Earth being Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. They are our people who are here to manifest the material world. They can bend it at will. Once they have mastered themselves, they can bend it at will to build and create what is needed in order to sustain and bring great pleasures in life, in this physical world. We have our air, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. The purpose in life is to get to the heights of truth. Nothing scares them. They are not afraid to speak the truth and speak it boldly. They are communicators and teachers. They are philosophers. They are very logical and rational. And they deal in social, on a social platform, either small social groups, one-on-one, or large scale. Then we have water, which are Cancers, Pisces, and Scorpio. Emotions. You can act like I don't feel nothing, I ain't got nothing, but they can go down in your soul and they can extract it and they can pull things out, because the whole point is to have whatever is going on in your soul come to a head, come to light, stick its head out so that it can be addressed and healed. This is what they do. They are healers. They can like see in the spiritual realm. They can see what's going on. They can feel you. In the movie Avatar, they had this statement, I see you. That's the water sign. I see you. And the last one is the fire. The fire being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Purpose in life: to motivate, to inspire, to lead, to fulfill a cause. This is what they do. So I'm going to move on, but I just wanted to say, hey, if you don't have your life purpose, you're not where, kind of look at your sun sign, and most likely you're somewhere in that bracket in some way that is going to lead you to your purpose. But it's other parts of your stuff. We'll get there. Okay. Now, how an inflicted soul is affected. You know, the success of the soul and the success of the person connected to the soul, is that if one suffers a lot of loss, or they feel lost, they can lose happiness, they lose peace, they lose will, they lose hope, they lose empathy, they lose the ability to stay sober, they lose their health, they lose education, and it's anything resulting in the stagnation of positive forward movement. Movement in what? In the connection with spirit, in the connection or in the ability to sustain one's life and to broaden it and to expand. Okay. Let's see. Give me a minute. Okay, now so we didn't dealt with the soul. I just want to touch on the soul a little bit. Our souls are more or less connected to our individual experience. With spirit is connected to the collective. We are from the all, and spirit connects us back to all. So imagine a string that goes from your back through. This is just for illustration type of thing. A string that runs from your back through the core of your body, going through the soul, then through the spirit, directly to the all. He can just draw you up into him, absorb you back into his essence. Now we're talking about spiritual battle. So when this cord is cut, disrupted, or disturbed, how then can you be drawn back into the all? You know, the separation. I think it was the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo drew a picture of Adam and God, and the fingers are about touching, but it's a gap. That's the separation from God. That's that line. You know, it's a break in the line, as it is in the Sistine Chapel, with the little fingers and barely not touching. And that is a loss. And we have the soul can be sulking and sad and miserable. And it really does show in the physical world. How your soul is revealed in the physical world. And the physical world also can affect your soul. That is to say that you can be so engrossed or engaged in materialism that you no longer desire to attend to your soul. You don't even think about it. It's all about that money, baby. It's all about that fame, that reputation, that status, that money. You know, those beautiful women, those beautiful cars. I almost say it's something else, but you get my drift. And it's the other side of it, where you are denied the materials in this world. I'm talking about the bare basics. I'm talking about starvation and poverty, constantly longing for this world due to lack of the world. I'm talking about the bare basics. That too can inflict the soul so that it cannot connect to the all, so that it can't get its messages and downloads, so that it can move forward. So these are things that we have to be conscious of and to be careful of. Yeah, it's like I wrote here, it's like an umbilical cord. And so we need to keep it active, clean, an umbilical cord to God. Okay, let me see. Okay. let's see. Now I want to talk about, again, we're dealing in the spirit. We're moving to the spirit. I'm moving out we moved from the beginning in part one, physical body, physical plane, a little bit about the soul, and now we're going over into the spirit because we're trying to get to the spiritual battle. Okay, now spirit is pure form. It's pure energy. Spirit is the all. It is a part of the all. It is where he or it decided to divide itself, multiplicity, into many units, and to allow those many units to experience individuality and to experience it in the physical world of the five senses: taste, touch, eyes, seeing, mouth, tasting, and smelling, and hearing. Okay. It's okay. And it's all right because, see, the all knows all. And this is me reaching because I'm always reaching. But the all knows our all. And if we are part of the all, in which he allowed himself to be broken down in multiplicities in order to experience different variations, this is merely him himself collecting information through different cells. I'm one of the cells. But it is he who is gathering the information. And so each individual cell or component of his body is getting to experience and to know for itself each individual part and component of the all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. He knows all. However, I like to say again that there is a place of loss with the spirit in the physical form, because we can get lost again in materialism or the longing for it. This existence is an amazing trip. It really is. It is. And in the last video, I said I got to see the ocean. I got to see the sea. I got to see the sea, and that was an amazing sight. I've got to see some wonderful things in my life. I've got to taste some very extravagant foods in my life. Unfortunately, I can't do it now, but my family made it where I could. And I can see how it could be very easily, especially if you have it accessible to you at all times in your life, and it's not going away from you, that you can get lost in that itself, being raptured in the good life, the good life. Really be able to enjoy the physical experience, especially that spirit really doesn't just force itself upon you. At least you can't tell what's going on if you don't pay attention, really. Okay, move on because I'm getting all off. But you can always long for something. And I just want to put a little note here, which I hadn't planned to put here, but being lost in the physical. And then once you are pulled from this body and no longer in the physical plane, therefore you can't do the five senses. You can't be interactive with this world. But your spirit, your soul, still has this imprint from the experience, and still longing to come down here and eat a potato chip, or smoke a cigarette, or go for a run. All these things, or to kiss, or to hug, or to go to the movies. Those are not things of the spirit. So I came to a belief that hell was the separation from the physical, not being able to get back to it, not being able to partake in it, or interface in the physical plane, and not being able to get back to it, and constantly longing for it. But you are no longer in the physical. That will be hell, and you conscious of it at all times. Just to make a note. But okay. Even drugs. People be like, I love drugs, they just tear their life apart. But that's a whole nother story that we're going to cover in this series. Yeah, okay. I did the fall into forgetfulness and, yeah, pleasures and all that. Okay. I'm just trying to keep a pace. I think I've done that. All right. So what I'm getting to is, in order for you to be connected in this lifetime, because again, it's about, I should have mentioned this earlier, we are living in multiple parallel universes at parallel dimensions simultaneously. We are living in both the physical and the spiritual. We may be more aware of what's going on in the physical because we're interfacing with them with the five senses. However, the spirit is something that a lot of us don't pay attention to. And so I just wanted to let it be known that it's important that you attend to your soul, that which motivates you, that would get you up every day and defines who you are and what you are capable of doing. You need to make sure that or see about the well-being of that part of you. Okay. Guess I did that too. I want to keep this video shorter than an hour, I hope. Okay, I talked about the afflicted soul. Creating a breakdown. I talked about the breakdown between soul, spirit, and spirit source that can occur through either being bound by materialism one way or the other for an extravagance or lack thereof, or not knowing your purpose and just being lost in this world in the midst of the chaos, being lost. Mm-hmm. Let's see what I'm trying to say here. I talked about the 12th house of escapism and confusion. Oh, yeah. And in that 12th house, we find confusion and anxiety and fears, doubts, all those kind of things. So, yeah, the soul really needs to be attended to and addressed. I'm just going to read these notes because it's not making sense as I try to read it to myself. It says, there are those, the adversary, the devil, and the elite, that knows this very well and uses it to their advantage. And that's the next thing I'm getting and moving into. That it seems basically that we don't know that we are both physical and spirit. However, the adversary, the devil, that old devil, the serpent, and the elite, these people in the physical world that have bamboozled us into digging up all the natural resources and handing them over to them, the food supply, and we building a legacy for them and their grandchildren and not ourselves. Our individual clans, filling our land. They are aware that your soul can be inflicted. They also aware when your soul is not inflicted, because now your eyes are being opened up. You become a threat. But the other one is they so happy when you're lost. Why are they happy? You're not a threat, number one. Most likely you're going to be happy being a laborer. You're going to be grateful. You're going to go to work, as I say, 40, 50, 60 hours. You're going to make the money. If you're wounded emotionally and spiritually, your soul's inflicted because you're not in your purpose or your calling, but you're going to work just to bring them what they need, but not what you need and what your offspring needs. You could be really upset about that. You might not speak of it, but you sure enough might drink a lot, take a lot of drugs, be addicted to all kind of sex and deviant stuff, whole bunch of stuff we get out here and do in order to just forget. Forget what we to forget. It's crazy, but it's true. So be aware that get the courage to seek. If you watch Tarot, you are seeking. You know what I'm saying? Your astrology, you are seeking the great path, I would say. Do some studies. It's your whole life. And this is another thing from my experience. Your whole life counts. Everything you have done, good or bad, ugly, beautiful, it doesn't matter. It counts to who you're going to be and who you're meant to be. Use it. Don't be ashamed of it. Use it to your advantage so you can hurry up and get up out that rut. Because what we need to do is we need to make some changes. And we're making this change because we're looking at the spiritual battle. That could be a real problem as we move forward in the spiritual battle series here. Okay. I went through a lot of this so quickly. Okay, I'm just going to read again. Restricting your soul spirit, from connecting with Source God, the All. Restricting the re-education process that addresses who is your master, your creator, who you are, why are you here, what is your purpose, how to function successfully in this realm, and ascend safely back to the all. What's really going on? And so that, again, it's just talking about the soul needing to be aligned so that spirit, the plug, can function and flow. And you can get re-educated, because remember, we were born into forgetfulness. We don't know what's going on. And so we need this line of communication open so that we can be re-educated. What do we need to be re-educated of or from? That which we were born in. It was washed away. We were born into forgetfulness, and we were educated by our institutions, family, church, schools, history. We were educated by that, and it all was a bunch of crap, basically. Well, it wasn't crap. It's like, I look at it like this: 1,000-piece puzzle that has been thrown up in the air, and all the pieces are everywhere. And you got this lifetime, which ain't long, to shift and put the pieces together into a logical format that you can read and interpret it. Okay. Now, guess what? You need that line opened up with the all in order to receive the download, so that you can be re-educated. Re-educated to what? The truth. The hardcore truth about who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. Okay. Now, let's start really getting to the what they call it, the meat of the situation, of the subject. And we're going into the spiritual realm, the invisible realm. This is where the battle is being fought. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against powers, rulers and powers and spirits and principalities, and from dark places and evil, and however the scripture goes. As I said, I'll be loosely quoting things. You can find that in your Bible. Now, I'll be looking at astrology at this point. And again, I'm reaching. But it really takes to go to the book of the Apocryphon in John, I believe it is, where it talks about, I want to say it's John, I should have looked again. But it talks about the luminary cycles, and it talks about the days of the weeks, and it talks about the months of the year, the rising and falling of the sun and moon. And to me, from my studies, I got an understanding that these things, these planets, and I'll name the planets, and let's see: Mars, Venus, Earth, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. We have shadows that are really not planets, or we have cross sections in the sky, certain things like we call it Rahu or Ketu. We have Charon and Vesta, just to name a few, and a series, just to name a few. Well, these things are living things. Just like you and I, our souls dictate who we are and what we're going to be like and what we're going to go after and what's going to motivate us. The divine also gave these planetary objects attributes and characteristics. That's how astrology works. Okay. I will start with the earth, because here is where we sit. That's what we have in common. Unless I got some outer spacers here. Okay, they all are welcome. Okay, Earth. Think about Earth. One of the characteristics of Earth is that it has gravity. Gravity, binding. We don't get up. We don't float off this mother sucker. We are bound by gravity, and we're also bound here in this physical plane on Earth, in this matrix, in this 3D reality, in a lower vibration. Everything's moving super metric slow to create what we have before us, the things that we use, the energies that are around us, including materialism and material needs. It is sexuality and it is gender. And I went there with sexuality and gender because now, as I talk about Earth, low vibrational energies, I want to talk about sexuality and gender. From my viewpoint, it seems that sexuality has changed. Many years ago, I guess not that long ago, but I'll say 1950s. I don't know if you know Lever to Beaver, but it was like structure. A woman was a woman and a man was a man. He was the breadwinner and the woman was the housekeeper and the child rearer and all that. And the kids were respectful and everybody went to school, and that is homosexuality. What? It was in the closet when it existed, you know. So, being bound here on this earth, why has there been a change in sexuality? Why is everything liberated? You know, it's all out now. The closets don't have doors anymore. As a matter of fact, the whole parade came out. Everybody's free. You can be a homosexual, a lesbian, or whatever, and not putting homosexuality or lesbianism with sexual deviancy, but I'm about to make a point, so just ride the wave with me. Is that if we originally were spirit, remember in the last video, spirit don't know physical, it doesn't know materialization, it doesn't have the five senses to plug into this physical realm, right? So we were originally spirit, therefore no physicality, no plugging in or interfacing with this three-dimensional world, this matrix of low vibrational energy. Therefore, I believe it's safe to say that spirit does not have sexuality nor gender. It was this end of the world scare, December 21st, 2012 or something like that. That first time I heard it, I'm like, what is going on here? End of the Mayan calendar. World's ending as we know it. Yes, it is. And yes, it was. The veil is thinning between universes or dimensions. Things are being downloaded. Enlightenment is happening. Things are changing. Sexuality. People's sexuality is coming out. They're expressing themselves as they feel. Because guess what? Spirit, pure spirit, has no sexuality. It has no gender. It is asexual and it is free. And so here we are. In the lower vibrational, we are critical. Oh, that ain't how it's supposed to be. It's tradition. Yeah. To each his own, I say. But I do believe that because we are starting to shed our ways. I've watched videos that talk about ascending to another level. As we ascend, these limitations set by this temple, this flesh, this tomb, as this thing thins, as we're pulled to a higher level, well, we're breaking out of this. So, sexuality, what? Remember, in astrology, the fifth house is the house of creation, and the fifth house, Leo, the house of Leo, and that's being ran, that's being yourself. This is you individually, letting the world know you are you because you do this, whatever this is. And the fifth house is about creation. It's your energy, your fabulous energy, and how you take that energy and you make something happen. You create something. We can come together with another and have sex and have a baby. Or you can individually take your energy and create something, a work of art. I don't know. You may be a fashion designer. I don't know what you do, but you have the ability to create. And so, going back to the sexuality, you are free to be you and create what you want. You are asexual. You can do that. And so, again, it is this crossing or blending of both living in a spiritual and a physical realm. And we used to didn't pay attention to the spirit, but the spirit is beckoning and saying, hey, I am here, and it is now the time, the appointed time that you will start paying me attention, and you will start acknowledging and addressing me, and I am here. And so this is where the liberation is coming from. But I'm getting stuck. I'm going to move on. Now, I want to talk. I know I haven't lost this page. Of course, now I got to search again. But I was talking about the planets, and I wanted to kind of go over the planets. Now, let's start back in the physical world. Your mother is pregnant with you, and she goes through childbirth. You are born. You're both washed by the placenta, the chemicals in the placenta that activates forgetfulness. So, at birth, within a couple of days, you fill out some papers. Within a couple of days, you are, or a couple of weeks after getting out of the hospital, you receive in the mail a birth certificate. Still dealing with astrology, still dealing with the spiritual world. Excuse me. Still dealing with the spiritual world. So, on your birth certificate, it has your name, the location, the state or city, province, whatever country you're born in. It has the city, the location. It has your sex, a male or female, your time of birth. So this is a snapshot of the stars in the sky, the cosmos, the book of life. God has given all the planets, all the stars, attributes. They all got a duty. In the book of the Apocrypha, again, I should have looked it up, but I did not. But it talks about how he ordained, as he did you and I, each planetary body with certain attributes and powers. Also, we have these planets are considered rulers of certain signs. Like the ruler of Aries is Mars. Mars is the ruler. And it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against powers, rulers. Well, Mars rules Aries. So understand, he's given Aries a set of rules to play by. It's his job. Just like the devil, Satan, that old serpent, he got rules to play by. It's his job. These other planetary bodies have a job, and that's what they do. So your birth certificate, what I'm trying to get to is your birth certificate tells off rip what will and will not happen in your life. It tells what God has okayed and what he has denied in your life. Now, this is what I'm dealing with. Free will. Free will. Now, here you are, you born. We ain't aware that this birth certificate really means something. And you grow up, I'm going to be this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to marry this person, and I'm going to work here, and you go out, and some people move forward successfully in what they want to do. Is this because they're lining up with the birth certificate? They say line up with the will of God. You can't lose lining up with the will of God. And they move forward, Other people maybe, like myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Not knowing I got this birth certificate on me that says haves and have-nots, and everywhere in my life it's like, stop, no, like what the hell going on? What is really going on? Which led me here. But, so what's going on? Free will. You may have free will, is what I'm getting to. I had free will. I attempted to do what I wanted to do in life, which was become educated, get education, to help others, to be helped. You know what I mean? I tried marriage, being a mother, and it didn't go quite as I had planned it to go. It was quite different than I had projected. But when I learned to read my birth chart, I was like, oh wow. Oh well, okay. So my free will didn't line up with God's plan for my life. That birth certificate, it did not line up. And I mean, this is another level of depth I need to go into this video, but I just say read the secret books, the lost books, the left out books, the apocryphon. Please listen to them if you're ready. But when it's babes, do what babes do, but when you're ready to walk, go ahead and walk. Because there's a lot to be learned. So my birth certificate, my book of life, did not line up with my free will. Therefore, I ran into a lot of conflict. Being an Aquarius, I always talk about the Aquarius as the element's life purpose. Part of the Aquarius life purpose is to have to deal with objections, a conflict, betrayal, and I didn't understand what was going on. That's deep. I think life would have been easier if I was raised into this type of knowledge. But I had to travel a road and a path that led me here. But I wouldn't understand. I couldn't understand for the life of me. And I kept saying, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Spiritual battle, oh my God, something is wrong. And so, I went through feeling like I done did something so wrong. I went through feeling like God did not love me. And I tried so hard. I would try so hard to line up like I didn't want to be a bad person. I wasn't majorly materialistic. I got a heck of an ingenuity, and I used that. So I didn't understand. I just really didn't understand. But now I have enlightenment, and I understand. And just as I said, oh God, when you watch the life purpose of the Aquarius, it starts with the Ace of Swords and it has the gold leaves. And it says, when you get to a certain level, God has already given a promise. And this is through research. Everything I do is I research it and then I lay an outline and I bring it to you. It's totally up to you to search yourself. I just share what I find, And the gold leaf represented healing. And if you go to the book of Revelations, and I forgot which chapters, final chapters, it talks about the foundations of heaven. It talks about the pearl gates, and it talks about the gates themselves and what they're made of, and the gold sheen. That's the ground in heaven. And when I researched this years ago, that's when I realized that the natural resources on this earth, all our minerals, all our jewels, all our the waters before they were contaminated, everything on this earth was here to sustain this temple. Heaven is a place that we know, oh, you go to heaven, you heal. Yes, because if you research a pearl, the healing properties of a pearl, it is an antibiotic. So now it said the gates of heaven. I'm getting off track, but I'm going to just say this because it's a beautiful notion. That the gates of heaven are these huge pearls. Huge, grand, big old cathedral type pearls. And as you walk through the gates of heaven, you are healed and made whole. Guess what? This world was created to sustain us for whatever purpose, good or bad. And we dug it up, gave it to the elite. Shame on us. But enlightenment is coming. So anyway, let me get back on track. So now we got a person being born, the birth certificate that has the life story of the person, the book of life, starts with the book of life. And I'm talking about the planets, and the planets having their attributes or characteristics or their jobs and their duties to handle in our lives. And it regulates all of us. Again, out of the signs are the astrological signs. I'm looking at my sun signs. Are Aries, people that move forward with great momentum, forward moving, brave and confident. Taurus is people who manifest. They like luxury, beauty. They create amazing music and artwork and beauty, and they love money. They love the legacy, to build that legacy. We have Gemini. These are our small social communicators who are there to talk, to learn, and to teach. In the small social group settings. We have Cancer. These are our healers. These are the people that are the glue to the family, to the community, and they like to feed and nurture. We have the Leos, who's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous, the Leo is. And she wants to go out into the world and fulfill or handle a cause, and she wants to be appreciated for it. Nothing's wrong with that. We have Virgo, who's a master. I spoke about Michelangelo. I don't know what sign he was, but it's that precision in work, the detail in work that if funneled right is what is the word I'm going funnel right, or if focused right, it creates a masterpiece. Masterpiece. We have here Libra. Libra is the seventh house. This is one-on-one communications, intimacy, sharing of information and communications. It's keeping balance and harmony between you and another. It's entering contracts, having confidence in another person that you two can come together and make something happen, create something, build something that is beneficial to the both of you. The Scorpio, these are deep. When I say your psyche, you want to hide stuff from people? Ooh, Scorpio, they can look at you. They can remember Avatar. I brought that up. I see you. That's what Scorpio do. I see you, because we're going to dive to the depths of your psyche, of your soul, and we're going to bring up that old wound so it can be healed. That's what their purpose is. This is what they do. As I read these off and talk about their attributes, this is part of the life purpose. This is the signs of clues to the life purpose and how a person can move forward. And this is their gift. It says in the Bible, God gave every man, woman, and child a gift. Some have the gift of prophecy. Some have the gift of knowing or seeing or whatever. And these are the gifts. The next one is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is that fire. He's enthusiastic. He's happy. He's inspired. And he's motivated to move forward on the cause. He can see the big picture. Oh, we can get there. We can make this big thing happen. Martin Luther King, I don't know, but he had a big picture that he saw, and through all adversity, he moved forward in it. We have Capricorns. Oh, our Capricorns, our goats, are steadfast because they want to build, manipulate this material world to create what they want. What do they want? They want a career worth recognition. They want to reach some ambition. They want to enhance their reputation or their status. And they're diehards. They won't stop. Take a break, but while they breaking, they planning. Hey, this is purpose, goal, energy, force, the motivation. Aquarius. Aquarius is air, and it deals with communication, intelligence, truth, knowledge, justice, those kind of things. And it's on a large social network, big groups, institutions it's the 11th house of gains. And so we're talking about, I associate in this group because it brings me some form of gain, whether it be monetary or whatever. It may be feeling wonderful about self. It could be money. It could be it brings more connections, the network builds, But that's what Aquarius does. They teach and learn in large social networks and with the gearing a purpose of getting gain. Gaining knowledge, gaining experience, gaining connections, gaining wealth, all those things. And then finally, we have Pisces, another healer. Pisces is the 12th house. This is the dark. This is the psyche. This is the universe. Pisces has an innate ability to connect to the unknown, to the unseen, to the dead. They can feel intensely the collective awe, the collective soul, the collective experience. I think that they need to really take care of themselves because that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. Okay, so now I just went through the sun signs. Now, I'm talking about your spirit. I am talking about how, not your spirits right now, but I'm talking about the forces, the evil forces, the powers, the rulers of the dark, the unseen realm that influence our lives, both spiritually and physically. This is all playing and connected together because we live not just in the flesh, we also live in the spirit simultaneously. Now, I want to talk about the stages that things play out on in astrology, and the stages are the house. We have the one stage that's decorated with the props and stuff, and it's house number 1. The props have to do and reinforce the self. So whatever defines me, the prop is about self, and certain things will play out on that stage. Another stage, and with its decorations, is the second house. The house, imagine the purses and monies and jewelries, and so it'll play off of that, and again, legacies and savings and bonds and just the good life and good food and wine, That's another stage. The next stage is the third stage. Your upbringing, what you're willing to fight for. Who is your small social network? Who are the people you just kick it with real close? You need to learn some stuff. You need to exchange some information to keep things moving. They really influence who you are. You know what I'm saying? They teach you early on. They teach you how to interact in this world, how to manipulate this world, how who you are in this world, how you fit in. This will say things in our lives shape who we are. We come in, we're washed clean, we have no idea, and these things shape us. And sometimes they shape us into beings and creatures and we're on the wrong path. It's not who we really are, but we have learned to manipulate ourselves or manipulate the world, how to move in this world, through these interactions in the third house, especially in the fourth house as well. The fourth house is your home, your family, your roots, your ancestors. It's your mother. It's your wife if you're a man, It's your emotions. It's your emotional response to stuff. When somebody says something to you, you jump off and get angry. That's your fourth house. Or do you soak? Or do you come back fiercely? That's your emotional nature. That's your fourth house. That's what's been put in you from the beginning. We have the fifth house. Remember, this fifth house is the house of Leo. And the fifth house has to do with creation. What do you create? What do you use your life energy to create? Now, right now, we're talking about the stages that things are played out on. The sixth house is the house of pets, people that are going through hard times. It's people that you have to take part of your energy and give over to them in order to help serve or protect them. To me, it's like a place of charity, but you have the potential, I guess, in the sixth house to get something back. Unlike the 12th house, I think it's just loss. But it has to do with your health and your well-being and what you put into it, what you put into other things, other than just your own selfish needs or desires. It's the seventh house. Seventh house is about marriage contracts or entering contracts with another in order to create something, do something, or you create a contract saying we're going to do this, we're going to work together, and we're going to make X, Y, and Z happen. That's the seventh house, whether it be marriage, it could be enemies, open enemies, um, or business or lovers. Okay, it's the eighth house, and the eighth house to me is about it's debts, it's taxes, it's loans, it's taboo sex, it's uh, it says it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's transformative. It's changing. And why is that? And it shows just how committed you are to something. Are you so committed you're gonna take all these damn loans and have to pay them back? Ooh, are you so committed you're gonna get real, real freaky? You know, that kind of thing. How committed are you to something? You know, we're going real deep because now we're talking about going down to your psychological state. What are you committed to? And how far are you willing to go in that? Okay. You can also do, again, with marriage, commitment. How committed will you be? We have the ninth house. The ninth house is the big idea, the philosophies, the beliefs, your understanding of the world at large. It is about religion. It's about, again, higher education. It's learning, it's knowledge, it's awareness, it's enlightenment. It's the guru, it's the teacher, you know. Um, and then the 10th house, it has to do with your career, your ambition, your reputation, and your status, the enhancement or building of it. It is how people see you, it's what they see you do in the world. Then we have the 12th house, and the 12th house is oh God, the 12th house is so big. To me, it's everything you can't see. I got this 180-degree view right here. Everything else that exists beyond me, back into the universe, into the next galaxy is the 12th house, and it has to do. It's hidden things. You know, it's things that are hidden from view. It's spirituality. It's isolation. It's separation. It's moving out of your comfort zone. Because when you don't know, when you walking in the dark, you be like, "Ooh, anything can jump out at me." You know, and that's the 12th house. Like, oh, what is this? It's your deep psychological stuff. It's connecting and talking with the dead. It's seeing the dead. It's dreams. It's magic. It's mysteries. It's the occult. That's the 12th house. A whole bunch going on there. Okay. So those are the stages that things play out on in our lives. And the next one, and this is the real important part, and I look at these planets as the rulers that are mentioned in the Bible because they rule and dictate what will happen. Now, Mars, now remember I was talking about free will. You have free will. Now, if your free will lines up with God's will for your life, it's pretty easy. But if your free will opposes or is squared to God's will for your life, you're going to have to be clever. You may go through some difficult and some hard times as you resolve these issues during your life. And so these are how the planets play. These and the angels are another form of energy that plays. I'm talking about things that play in the spiritual realm. So you got to know the players in the spiritual realm. We don't know the players because one, we don't even acknowledge the spiritual realm. So now we're going to acknowledge the spiritual realm, and it's things over there in the dark, in the beyond even the 12 hours, in the dark, that are affecting us. And we're talking about angels, we're talking about demons, we're talking about planets, we're talking about principalities. Oh, you keep naming it, keep digging and keep looking. It is like even the angels that fell, that were kicked out of heaven, the fallen angels. I think it started with 365 of them. And mind you, they each had an army. So in all this time, everything is basically asexual. Do you know what we're up against? Do you know? You got to wake up. We got to wake up. Because we live not only in the physical, we are living in the spiritual. The physical is temporary, built to last, but for an appointed time. It is temporary. But the spiritual is eternal. Eternal. So we got to figure out what's going on so that we can address and have a full experience while we're here and beyond. So now let's talk about a little bit about the planets. We're still dealing with the birth charts. of the individual and how it influences this life. So, I don't know. It was really hard here to move forward without talking about, I guess, maybe other interpretations of God, which I don't want to go into because that's deep. And again, I say, please, if you can, you're ready to walk, study the books of the Apocrypha, listen to them, Apocryphon, and listen to them. And expand your mind. Go back to your religious studies and expand your mind, as well as your schooling, your religious time, your religious studies. Go back to it all and expand your mind and see what you come up with. And below, just type in your experiences that you've had. If this video is up in a few years from now, come back to it, type and let me know. This is my personal journey. This is my personal study. So I'm just trying to move forward without going into that. Mars. Let's talk about Mars as one of those rulers out here in the universe that rules and regulates, because he has a job. What is Mars' job to do? Let's think of Mars as spirit. He's a spirit. And his spirit, that planet, that big body, has a spirit. And as he moves through our galaxy, he throws off vibrations. And his vibration does what? It creates power, forcefulness, aggressiveness, boldness, impulsiveness. Now, if you got a good old birth chart, that could be wonderful. They say Mars in the 10th house. That's the house of the career, ambition, reputation, status. Gives you all the power that you need to be getting there, to be seen in public, to advance forward with great confidence. But you can also have Mars make you become, if things are inflicted, if the spirit is inflicting, because they have a job to do, it can have you violent. I'm talking dangerously violent. It can make you become a murderer. It can make you impulsive. It's so like you don't even think before you act. You better get yourself into a world of trouble. So it has a positive and a negative attribute. I'm gonna jump to something else I've been thinking about. Cupid. Valentine's is coming. I was thinking about Cupid, and the connotation around Cupid is that, he's a little cute angel with some little wings, and he shoot his arrow, and you fall in love. That's wonderful. Cupid, help me shoot your arrow. Have love come my way. But the thing of it is, I think Cupid has his other side as well, where he can be a little deviant. And he can cause mischief, if I'm not mistaken. Years and years of study, you kind of lose information. But I do think he have a little deviant side, So these entities, these energies, these rulers, these principalities, these spirits, these ghosts, they playing. They out here playing. They're not playing. They actually have a job to do, and they're doing their job. Anyway, Venus for interest. I think I see it there right. Venus has the capability of creating beauty and harmony and peace. Where the other side, she can be very extravagant, and that's I was going to come back to. This video I'm doing 5 more minutes and then I'm done. This is going to take forever to upload. And I'm sorry, I hate making long videos because a lot of people don't want to watch long ones. I don't like long ones. But Venus, when she's inflicted, she can have you where, I'm not beautiful enough. Like me, I got a broad nose. I can't handle that. I got to go get a nose job. And I'm getting older. I need a facelift. And you continue and you continue and you become obsessed. And I'm going to jump down here to this demon in astrology, Vedic astrology, I believe it is. It's called Rahu. And it's taking things to an extreme. And you continue to get your face transformed into different figures and resculptured, and to the fuck you don't even know who you are. You go look in the mirror and spirit don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual battle. You know, you can be manipulated. So you have to stay conscious of these entities and beings and the effects they are having in your life. I'm going to stop this video after I read this verse from the King James Version, Psalms 23:4. And so there's going to be a part 3 to this series of the spiritual battle. And I'm going to read this and make a statement, and that's where I'm going to come back in part 3 with. It says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." Interesting. And so this is coming off. I'm breaking loose. I'm shutting down what I was talking about, and I wanted to just read that. "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." And this is what I'm saying is, we talked about first about being in the physical. I'm here in the physical, and I also talked about how does it go? That there's an actual death. There's actual separation of the spirit from the body. You know, it is the end of the physical experience. So between here in the physical and the death, the natural, real act of death where you dead spirit out your body, there's a place. There's a valley. There's a valley. And you're walking every day in this valley. And on each side of the valley is a threat. We have the physical existence that is active and has threats in the physical world of bodily harm, of deprivation, of starvation, of pestilence. You know, we have on the other side, in the spirit, we got these spirits at work that are subjecting you to life-threatening or creating situations and circumstances and events in both the physical world and the spirit world that are life-threatening. You know, I hope it made it sound right. So imagine yourself in this tunnel or this valley, life here, death here, and you're walking here in this middle while there's shit playing all around you that's life-threatening. So yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows. See, those are the shadows, they over you. The actual event that can happen to take you out is over you. It's a shadow. Like my hands are, it's a shadow. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. You don't have to fear what's coming, but you do need to be knowledgeable. It says because, it says, for thou art with me. Who's with me? The all, the truth. Thy rod. What is the rod? Let's go back to here. The rod, the wand, is the fire. The fire is the cause, the source, the sun of the house. It is the motivation is with me. Thy staff, that rod, that staff, that torch, God leading you, will comfort you. And he's going to lead you along the way. Thank you for viewing this video and coming to Can Angels Fly 1970 once again. And until next time, from Nancy, bye.